Hello. Today, we are showing the capabilities for handling multi-state taxation and multi-state overtime capabilities and how these are set up within Criterion. The purpose of this session is to show you how easily these multi-state tax rules can be added to an employee within the application and how they can then be changed when employees work in 2 or 3 different states. Once the state taxation and overtime rules are turned on, they help an organization with compliance and the regulatory rules associated with reciprocity and specific rules depending on each state. We begin here in the Criterion system in the HR area where employees may access data. Notice how easily we are able to navigate to different areas where an administrator may make changes. First area that we are going to visit is the screen where a payroll or HR manager can make a change to an employee's tax tables. When making rule changes, the changes between state rules are automatic. By default, Criterion HCM assumes nexus and applies the regulations of both work and resident states. When states have reciprocity agreements, depending on the specific reciprocity agreement, either click on the NonResident Certificate or select the value from reciprocity. The first example we're going to look at here is for our employee whose resident state is Minnesota. We have added an additional tax here for North Dakota, which is based off of the employee's work location. In order to indicate that we do not want to track subject wages and taxes from North Dakota, we would turn on this non-resident certificate toggle here. This will ensure that those subject wages and taxes are only computed for Minnesota. This is how our employee is currently set up. When an employer has no nexus with the state, they can withhold only the taxes based off of the work location. To do that, we would choose Calculate Work Taxes Only from our Reciprocity dropdown. We're going to take another example in just a moment here. The next part of this, we're going to look at our Minnesota withholding. We're going to assume that this employee also has a work location in Alaska. Here, we're going to add our Minnesota withholding, and from the reciprocity, we're going to select Work Taxes Only. This will serve to exclude subject wages and taxes from Minnesota. Now, we're going to take a look at the employee self-service area and show how the multiple state overtime works and how the hours are distributed within a week where an employee works in 2 different states. As you can see from the example here, a timesheet has already been populated, and we're now going to take a look at the details and show you how this employee has worked in Arizona and California and earned overtime in both states and show how that distribution of that overtime works. Beginning on Monday and working through Friday, our employee worked in California for 10 hours, Arizona for 8 hours. Then they returned to California and worked 13 hours. They went back for the last 2 days of the week to Arizona, where they worked 9 hours and subsequently 12 hours on the Friday. In California, our overtime rule was set up to capture days greater than 8 and any week greater than 40, as well as for double time, anything in a day greater than 12 hours. For Arizona, our rule is simply around any week and the week being greater than 40 hours. When we break this down, we can see that the employee has earned 12 hours according to our overtime rules, but we can see that the employee does have 1 double time hour, which derives from the 13-hour day in California. Now, typically, changes like this and calculations across different work locations and different overtime rules would be requested manually from the employee to HR or payroll and added to the system by that administrator. Typically, these rules don't work in many other applications that you see in the marketplace. As you can see from this demonstration here, we've been able to show Criterion's deeper functionality with multi-state payroll, taxation, and overtime.